fall sports good luck this season. Really excited for the 2024-25 season. Just the year for everybody in general. We started practice last Thursday, so I've had 4 competitive practices so far. Really excited about the returners, but also just the talent of the incoming class as well, and the level that we're competing at every single day. And then last, just our fans, first look, we'll be able to get out and compete, and so they can see our Tigers out in the court this Sunday at 1 p.m. for our black and gold scrimmage, and then next Sunday with Nebraska Omaha on August 25th.
Dawn, how is the start of year 2? Maybe it felt a little different from even when you started last year, obviously.
Yeah, start of year 2. It's been exciting. That's what I'll say. And my feet are a little bit more on the ground. I don't feel like I'm quite drowning quite as fast, but I think we've set a really good platform of where we can kind of jump off of now. Like let's go. They know the standards that we have. They know expectations. They know the values and behaviors that are going to help us lead us to success. And so it's been really fun to see our returners kind of just take that and run with that with all of our incoming, and just see how they've taken it and run with it every day in practice has been, I don't know, really joyful for me, really exciting, I think, to see that put into action.
4 practices in, what's maybe been your biggest takeaway of what you've seen from the team getting back into the swing of things?
Yeah, they love to compete. And anytime I put a competition, they're like, all right, gotta go. I think that's one of the biggest things is this team. They love to compete. They love the game that they get to play with each other every single day. And I think they're just a really close family.
Coach Sullivan, this season you guys make the trip to Texas. What does it mean to have the reigning champion in the conference and have them as an opponent on the schedule?
Yeah, I love it. You know, the SEC becomes stronger and stronger every day, and I think that's one reason why we're here, right? We want to compete at the highest level, and so, you know, I've played at Texas. I think that's an incredible venue to play at, played against them, and it only makes you better. And so really excited about that opportunity to go down there, right, and to compete at the University of Texas, see what we can do, just challenge us.
How do you take the momentum you built last year and carry it through the offseason and now into year 2?
Yeah, you know, it builds confidence, you know, in this belief that, you know, we've done this before and we can do this again. And so I think for our team to kind of lean back on that just a little bit and also just continue to grow and understand, like, yeah, we got one little bit, right? We got to NCAA, made second round. Okay, now we want to go Sweet 16. You know, what does it take to get there? And so we really kind of lean back in with the confidence that we've built and the belief, but then also look at how do we propel that forward.
You used the word joyful a few moments ago, and that had kind of seeped out of this program when you came in. How have you kind of injected that back into Mizzou volleyball?
I don't know. We love what we do, is what I'll say, and we really lean into the values, you know, and for us it's love, family, and grit. And so us able to do that as one team is what's, I don't know, whenever you are with people that you absolutely love, what comes out of that is just love. And I think that's what I see from this team every single day.
So the past 2 years, we've been seeing a huge growth in women's sports, not just here at Mizzou, but around the world. And like between Mizzou softball, and those attendance records, different attendance records being set across the NCAA in volleyball games. How does that influence the program and like lead to a growth of volleyball here in Columbia? Yeah,
I think it's amazing, right? You know, last year, first season here back, and we're already hitting 20th in the nation in average attendance. And so really excited about the community in Columbia and really the state of Missouri and how they support women's athletics. It's unbelievable. And so really excited for our student athletes that they get to experience that and that we have the fan base and just the support around us.
What do you think is possible for Jordan this year? Go ahead. Having quite a bit of continuity and returners on this year's team, how advantageous is that for you guys to have that to go out and try to accomplish your goals this year?
Yeah, it's awesome, right? I mean, you have 6 of the 7 returners. We only lost 1 last year. It helps build a lot of confidence, but also as we approach each season, you have to approach it as a brand new team. And so it's great, right? And the fact that, yeah, I know what they can do, and instead of like, well, who knows? Let's see what we got today, and let's continue to build on that. But I think they know the standard of where they can go now, and now how do they approach this new team with new people, right? And allow those players to continue to add and grow and strengthen us even stronger as a team.
What do you think is possible for Jordan this year?
Yeah, it's on whatever she wants, and I know you get to talk to her shortly. But you know, Jordan Iliff, she's just one incredible human being first off, and just with this kind heart and soul, and she just brings this joy and this happiness every single day. You know, she just lights up the room when she walks in. And I think, and then when she walks on the court, she's just this competitive competitive edge that you didn't like, whoa, where'd that come from? And so it's really fun to see her take off when she chooses to. And I think what we can find from her is it's untapped, right? Whatever she chooses to go out and get, she can do, And so how do we continue to support her to allow her to have that success?
We talked last, we were talking about the non-conference slate and how much, that prepares you guys for the SEC. What do you think about this year's non-conference slate in terms of getting, through that before the SEC?
Yeah, it's a little tougher this year than last year for us, which is exciting. That's the next step up for us. Like, we have to learn how to compete right away from the get-go. And so really excited for those first 4 weekends, go out there and just challenge ourselves. That's how you get better every single day. And I wouldn't schedule that if I didn't think this team could handle it. And we're a totally different team than we were last year. And so we're at a different level. And so when we walk on the court, they believe in themselves now. They've had that experience, and now let's go show what we can really do.
You mentioned, a new team, a different team than last year. How have you felt that standard kind of raised maybe from year one?
Yeah, I think it goes all the way back to like middle of the summer, right? And our offices are in Hearns, and so I can hear everything echoes in Hearns, right? It's an incredible building. But all of a sudden, I just hear these balls going, and the screaming and the yelling, and just competitiveness out in the court. And I'm 3 floors away from them, and I can still hear it. And so I think that's even where it starts. Is this team, even throughout the summer, they walked in the gym and they were competing. It wasn't just going through the motions and like, let's get some touches. They competed. And I think that is the standard that this upperclassman has placed, is like, we're gritty and we're going to get after it, but we're going to do it together. And I think that's really incredible how they continue to welcome people in and shine together.
Play a lot first month, and how much does that frequency help you get things established and move into conference?
Yeah, the way preseason, right, playing a lot, I think obviously it helps us. In one, it helps us understand just who we are as a team, and every team is going to be a little bit unique in how they challenge us and what's going to come at us. Everything's unique, every team, right, that we compete against, and so we can see different challenges we're going to face and how do we prepare for those better. And so I think for one, it just helps us prepare for the SEC, which is going to be a tough season for us.
When you look at your team specifically, Coach, what sort of characteristics or elements are you going to try and put out there every single match when it comes to your roster?
Yeah, I think this team it's more about the belief, right? And so I think that confidence, that belief, I think that's going to be a huge thing that we continue to feed into them. And how do we build this strong team? It's making sure they know who each other are and how they care for each other and how they respond to each other. And so when they're faced with that adversity, they have a great family and great sisters to fall back on and say, okay, I got you. And so I think that's what you'll see from this team.
Jordan had another experience with Team USA earlier this summer. How big is that for her, and how big is that for your program to have a player have something like that happen with her?
Yeah, 1 of 19 individuals, and for 2 seasons in a row. And I think that's setting a standard. And I think Jordan Iliff, she does it really, really well. And so it's huge for our team, but also just huge for her, right, to have that experience and the knowledge of what it's like to compete at that level, and then come back and it's like, okay, this is what we're doing. And so I think she does such an incredible job with that.
Coach, the new rule comes out, you can now designate 2 liberos. How do you think that this is going to affect your roster, specifically with all these defensive specialists you have around?
Yeah, I don't know if that will affect us that much. In my way, I would approach it. I think we're still going to have probably 1 primary libero, and then on the flip side, they're going to have that primary role of the passing and then playing those pseudo 6 rotations, right? And I think we have brought in some really nice players as well, and so they're competing right now to see who wins that position out. We have Kiara Liz, SWAC Player of the Year, Maya Sands, returning SEC Player of the Year, and many more, right? That are just competing every day for that position. So it'll be exciting to see who kind of wins that position out.
Do you envision some of those players, like you mentioned, those kind of libero specialists, could you see one of them being the libero and the other playing on the court at the same time, or is it just going to be go with one and stick with it?
Yeah, no, we'll use both. Yeah, no matter what. And I think that's one reason why we have such a strong individuals in that space. Passing and serve receive is going to be such a important part of our game, for us to be able to find our middle and keep a very balanced offense and finding Jordan on the outside or whoever is on the court, right? And so I think that reception part is huge for us, and that's why we go out and we find some of the best that can do that at a very high level for us.
You mentioned the depth on this team. What's the balance of getting in some of those more players with all the returns that you have and the skill that you already have on this team?
Yeah, we'll graduate a lot this year too, right? And so I think some of it's teaching and helping these incoming understand, like, this is a standard, this is the expectation, this is the culture that we have part of this program and leaving their legacy. And so they're able to pass a lot of that down. And so we don't see all of a sudden we have, right, all 6 graduating and 7 graduating, and now what? And so that's one of the things I wanted to avoid. And me coming in and taking over this program, I think we had so much changeover so fast. I wanted to have some carryover because the senior class is incredible, right? And who they are as people, but also as volleyball players and the standard they leave. And so that was a big piece of why I probably have such a big incoming class as well. But they're also very competitive and can help us win games. And so I think we look at both sides of that.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, thank you so much, Dawn.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.